What's up, everybody? Ooh, excuse me. Allergies. No, welcome back. Today is March 4th. The AM session has just finished, and so wanted to do a quick update on the portfolio. So, looking at the Roth overall, closed out of a couple things. One, Amazon puts. So looking at Amazon strong rally today. Got stopped out on the puts, and what I then did from there is, it looks like it may want to fill this gap, and we may be going into uh, push up further into this gap here. This could also be the reversal. I don't know. I'm just going with, what the market gives me. But looking at the weekly, what I thought was going to happen was, we take the sell side, pulls up, and then drops down. But looking at the analysis, yeah, we're below that 50% point. So ideally, that's where, you want to look to go long. If you're bullish on a stock, and let's even look at this. Yeah, they dipped right into that. If you're a fib trader, dipped right into that golden pocket right there, and since rallied from there. So that's the weekly. Looking at the daily, like I said, got stopped out. It's looking to want to fill this gap. I switched over in my other account. I'm not too sure what I can do with this account, but I dropped down. Looking at this breakout, dropped down onto the hourly. Price rallied, and then it came back. I entered in this box here, but what I potentially missed from the kicking it back out to the daily. And this is kind of where I don't know if I said this one was a 50-50 or not, but took the sell side, rallied up, pulled back, pushed higher, market structure shift, pulled back, pulled back. I was thinking, its inability to kind of get to that this will be easier. Looking at this, I wanted to, and it could still be valid, but based off of, setting it up by quadrants, like we just ran into this lower quadrant here. Uh, with that in mind, since it pushed up aggressively, in addition to NASDAQ pushing up aggressively today after the news this morning. So on NASDAQ or QQQ, whichever one you follow, we're seeing, strong bullish activity. I mean, we just gapped up for one and then just pushing. So this here would be a market structure shift on QQQ. So looking at that, you try to go with if the overall market is pushing, you want to, be in line with that. So Amazon rallied and then pulled back, and I got in, at the top of this. If it decided to, the better option would be, this 15-minute gap. That's, much better. But all that to say, I missed on the daily, this gap here. And as you can see, wicked into it. yesterday. Wicked into it at 202, and honestly, this just would have been like a phenomenal. I was in puts though. This just would have been a fantastic trade. 202, and now sitting at 215 next day. Wonderful trade. So all that say, got into that on the IRA. Let's see. I'll just throw this trade on now just so that I have some parity between the two accounts. And what would look to do for this one, come out here to April. So about 370. Oh, this is not even the right ticker. So one of my perpetuas. Okay, so what we'll do from here is now get into the 230s. And for this, looking to, we'll see what happens here at gap fill. Let's see where we are sitting. And then I'll move stop loss. Because we do have a gap here. So that might be of interest if it pulls back. I don't necessarily want to put it right here underneath the day because we did gap up. So I'm going to leave it here for now. And we will see. Because if it returns here, then I will definitely, and it leaves this gap up here, I'll probably look for a re-entry at this level. So that's Amazon. Boeing got out of the puts. And some of this will be different on the IRA. Boeing being in the a weekly and a daily busy, and then I went down to the 15-minute, and that's where I saw what I had missed. So came up, rallied, took this out, market structure shift after we took the weekly sell side, and we're inside of a daily and a weekly busy, and then came back, hit this earlier this morning, and then it's since just pushed out of that. So Boeing switching to bullish. Fang Energy. It is it's sitting inside of this gap. Holding this 10 moving average, still above the 30, so uptrending. This I'm just going to wait. We have not dropped below halfway here. So no change on Fang. Down on the position. Google in puts. So Google not seeing as much of a push. This one, as I stated, would like to see it, turn over, hit this gap, turn over, and take this, and then head higher. But we'll have to see how this one plays out, because if we look under the hood, so we haven't taken sell side. Rally. So yeah, no gap to enter on here. You know, if I was going to take calls, better option would have been, you know, looking at the 15, had this rally above this point here, pulled back in, and then we have that could have been entry on the 15-minute. But so far, Google, it looks like it's, you know, closing in. Yeah, it's closed in this gap here. Uh, I'm not fully convinced that this is going up just yet. Looks like, you know, moving averages crossed over. On the daily, still below the two. So looking to ride this just down. And like I said, target is just right here at 296. So Google, I'll maintain that position. Boeing, let's move this. Honeywell, this one, just respecting our stop. So got stopped out on this one earlier this morning. Stopped out and looked like since then, oh, this one here stopped me out. I respected the stop loss. Thought it might want to take this here, but as you can see, it has since rallied, and now we're sitting above this gap here. So this would be if I were to enter based off of what seeing on the daily, enter right here, enter in on this gap, or a pullback into this gap. Both viable options. As you can see, they're layered on top of each other. And then from there, would look to see this head higher. Moving on to the next one. So that's Honeywell. Out of that for now. Intel. So Intel was one that I spotted last night. And what I liked about Intel was that we hit this 1 week gap. And then inside of that 1 week gap, we had taken the sell side. And I was just banking on that. Even got like, you know, your fibs, 61.8 level, and pushing out of that. So really good entry on that one, weighted. And now we're with today's price action sitting at 44%. This one, I'll take one off at 50%. But overall, looking to target 47. And, you know, we'll either roll, or what can happen is with this being early, could see this make the market structure shift, pull back into that gap, and then head up here to this next level. So that's an option, or, you know, it could just take off and rip through all this, and, you know, we're happy either way. So that's Intel. MU, this one, just, you know, wishful thinking, I guess, on my part, that it was going to head lower. I mean, Micron has been just uptrending for a while. There really was, I was going counter trend because the weekly bullish, the daily bullish. I mean, you can, like, yeah, we have some sideways movement. You know, looking from here to here. I mean, yeah, you have sideways movement, but as you can see, you got into the lower half of that, hit this weekly gap, and is now trying to push out of that. Completely ripped through this here. So we'll just take that off. But now it looks like back to the original analysis that I had, it's using this gap. It just so happened that instead of like, and here's the interesting thing is no candle bodies have closed outside of this gap. And it looked like it just wanted to hit that weekly. And it has since bounced out of there because on the weekly, yeah, half of that. Um, so have that, and then that's MU. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA was a bit of a 50-50, but I'm kind of just going with overall market push. I switched from puts on this one and transitioned to calls. This is just overall play on the market. So if we, looking at it, if I want to, express a bullish case, you have this right here. All it did, went up, drop back, mark structure, shift up here, and let's clean this up. Just so I have clear targets. And looking at this, it's still below both of them. This could, it's just coming back into this gap. This could turn over, but I'm just gonna go with my gut on this one, and I'm just gonna hold for the long for now. So I move stop here. Came back into this gap here. And then we'll get rid of that. All right. Try and get the gap fill. And then if we drop down on the hood, so this is what made me switch my thought process. So yeah, we had the massive drop and then big push. When was this? Monday, big push, market structure shift, getting over this level here. Came back, it stayed. Hits that right there. And now, it's trying to move out of there. It looks like it got above yesterday's high. Barely got above it. And then 15-minute, just kind of continuing on the day. Yeah. Came in, even on the 15, you have this massive run up. You can see that nested within the 1 hour gap. We're sitting there, and maybe I need to just a little bit more so you can see it. Yeah. So then right there. So inside the 1 hour, inside of 15, inside of a daily, there's a lot going on. Push out of that. And then even here, pulling back into, these pre-market gaps here this morning, even this one right here. So to highlight those. Let me make sure these aren't sharp on a higher time frame. Yeah, these little small gaps here. And this is where, precision has its place, but if you can, time these entries, it makes a lot of things a lot easier. Like this right here, all yesterday, this, had the entire upper half of this. You had from 177 to 178.90. Let's call it 179. You had $2 range to get in, and push out of that. So that's Nvidia. Tesla, I am maintaining bearish bias. May need to switch, because right now seeing close above the high of this low day after we took the sell side, that this could be an early signal that we're gonna go to the upside. The reason I'm not ready yet is we have not made a higher up here to show bullet market structure shift, and two, we're still at the halfway point of this gap. Now, if I were to so the daily on this one is, downtrending still. But when we look at the hourly took these lows out, rallied, got this gap right here, pre-market. Went out right there. And now, we're pushing out of that, and we pushed right up into this gap. But you can take that 396 to 404, not that bad. And then 15-minute, yeah, would have been a good entry on that one. And then even here, on this pullback, you'd probably be sitting, roughly around break even. So that's Tesla. I'm still bearish on that one just for the time being. And finally, in the Roth, looking at Walmart. Pushed out of it. Just kind of, inside of yesterday's price action. So no changes there. So that'll wrap up the Roth. So now looking at this, so AMD, with the pushes, yeah, this one big push. We took the sell side liquidity. This one's a little bit more ideal. Still have the gap to the downside, but you have gaps to the upside as well. We just filled in one gap right here. You have another gap here, another gap here. So very porous price action. And then just get rid of that. So for this, put that down there. Looking to get up into this area here. We'll need to really get through this space. But the reason this one was appealing to myself, hourly comes down, and then we get market structure shift here, and then pull back into the gap here. And could have got in on that this morning. Blasts out of there, and then left this gap here, and it's just been pushing higher. So that one, that's AMD. Amazon, similar. Already went over this one. Was in puts. Got out of those puts. Now sitting in the 225 calls. ARM. So this one, don't know if I had a stop loss on this one, but this one, honestly, given how the market rallied today, really just pulled back into this daily gap here, and then pushed out of that. It has since, this one's kind of 50-50, because I could argue, Market structure shift upwards, pulls back into this gap, good rally. But you could also argue that took these highs here, dropped below, take this. It's now just working this gap here. Could turn over. This is going to be predicated on, does NASDAQ decide to keep running or running higher, or is it just running back up to then turn over? So I just got out of ARM entirely. Boeing, I want to say I explained that one with. Okay, no, I did not explain Boeing. So Boeing, this is just, weekly, daily. Oh no, I did explain this one. I just didn't enter into a new trade. But yeah, already touched on Boeing. Caterpillar, I believe I walked through this one yesterday. Came into this daily gap here. Pushed into that, rallied. You can see all this this time spent in here. Yesterday, good entry opportunity. Then got above this gap here. What blue is this? Oh, I know why. Got above that, and then come down to the 15. Touched it at open and then pushed out of it. So Caterpillar's also been a very strong stock in the industrial space. So that's a good one. CRM looking a little bleak today, but overall, the structure of the trade is still sound. So took the sell side, rallied, and then we're just consolidating in this gap. This one, there's no reason. Trade hasn't been invalidated. Now, I guess if it just like plummets out of this, we'll look to exit that. But no major changes there. Fang went over. Google, I went over. Honeywell, I could use last of my dry powder on this. So, what do we say on Honeywell? Yeah. So just pushing out of this. This one, I wouldn't say this is a late entry. I mean, from here to here, it's only 38% from the entry point, but trade idea is valid. This one, we might just I'll just take one contract on this one. So for this, we'll get about 338. Yeah. So let's see if we can get that one there. Oh, might not be able to get in. Okay, yeah. We're able to sneak that one in. So that's Honeywell. Man, I got stopped out, but oh well. Intel, I went over. Meta. So this is a new position for the day. Meta was showing strength earlier. So coming out of this daily busy, then getting above this inversion fair value gap, we've taken the sell side right here to enter this. It held, and now it's pushing higher. Bit of a pullback, intraday. But if let's say you wanted to get in on this trade, I'm already in, and as you saw, that position is down 17%. This to me would be, a good entry. Not saying to take the trade, but if I were to reposition my trade, because I want to say I bought this one. I think I bought a little too high on 901. Yeah, and it was like the first 30 minutes of the market, so not ideal. Let me see what. Oh, because this is in Eastern time. That's right. So 10. So yeah, I entered on this small pullback here. Yeah. Yeah, this is Eastern time. That's what was throwing me out. So I entered on a small pullback here, pushed up, and now it's coming back to that 1 hour gap. So not mad at the entry considering I'm in the vicinity of where it's pulling back to. It's just volatility, all that good stuff. Microsoft pushing nicely. Market structure shift, and I'm glad I switched my bias on this one. Market structure shift, pull back into this gap, and now it's working out of that today. So looking to see this deliver to 423 if we can get there. So no change on Microsoft. Uh, MicroStrategy was in puts, but big push today. So what I did do with this is while I got out of the puts, I did get into a share position. And with Amazon, I got into some shares as well with the rally out. But MSTR, gap up, I got into some shares. Uh, Stop losses here. Target up here. And this might be one where, since I have the 30 shares, what I might do is take half off, in this area, because we also have this one here. Take half off here and then hold to see if it continues. But I will be monitoring the stop daily. So that's MSTR. MU, I explained. Nem, aka my nemesis. Yeah, drop down into this daily Bissy, top of this weekly Bissy. We'll look to see this, try and regain that momentum. But, overall stock very bullish. Kind of just in this sideways pattern for the time being. But, look to, push to the upside on NEM. So got 4 to 4 days on that. Netflix, I added to my original position. So I have runner on the 90. And so with Netflix, I entered the 105 calls. So the only... because we are so extended, there is some risk associated with buying up here. But what could happen is if you take a look at AMD, AMD gapped up and then it just pushed higher from there, and it gapped up to 226, pulled back to 203, and then ran up to 267. So just because of the gap up does not necessarily mean that it will go back there now. But for this trade, I feel like I got, a pretty solid entry. I looked at the 1 hour, it hit that overnight heading, Tuesday morning. And then, Tuesday morning, you would have had just, gotten in on Monday morning. As you can see, there's another gap. This could have been an entry yesterday, but I looked at it today, and I got in here. So that's Netflix looking to continue on with the momentum. Nvidia went over. Pfizer, I cut my share position on this one. Just not liking the lack of movement. I'm just going to hold the options contracts. Got 4 to 4 days on those. Pull back into this daily BISI. Looks like it's trying to push out, but Pfizer's a slow mover. As you can see, 58 cents on the day. So not a quick mover down on that position. Procter and Gamble. We got into the this should be puts, right? Yeah, got into the puts yesterday. This one's continuing down, looking to see what it does here at 155, and not sure what this one is. Maybe that's an hourly gap that I put on here and didn't mark. Yeah, not too sure what this one is. And this one wouldn't be bad. Like, hey, it just comes down here, similar to MU. This weekly gap right here, bigger the time frame, bigger the move. So comes back here, hits this, moving average touch as well. Hits this, we get out of the puts. I'll probably look to see a switch in this area. But so far, no change here. And, you also have this daily here. So, yeah, looking to see, we get into here, take this, and then go from there. But other than that, maintain that position. Palantir, big push today. So we got into this. I think it was a little late on the entry for this one, but yeah, got into this yesterday. Came back, hit this gap. After, making this market structure shift, wick down into it, pushing out of it. You see these moving averages are getting closer. We took this buy side here. Oh, well, that was already gone. Didn't even need to worry about that. Buy side there, got above that high, and now it's pushing higher. So, excuse me. Looking to see this continue pushing. 165 is my target on this one. And with this, I would say stop. I'm just going to say this as a template because I hate. Yeah, stop loss is going to be here for now. But I'm liking the continuation on this one. PayPal, this is another one I thought was a really, really good setup. And I'm liking the entry. PayPal just not the speediest of movers, but on the daily, because this has just been getting beat down. Rallied, pull back into gap here, and it's looking to fill this gap. We have yeah. So this is what I saw. I want to say I spoke about this yesterday. Hourly rallied, came back into it, pushed out of it, pulled back, offers a brief entry, but yeah, not even because this is overnight, and then is pushing higher. So this one I think is a fantastic trade, and just we'll have to see the follow through. Tesla I've already went over. TSM similar to, and then I already touched on Walmart. So yeah, TSM, this will be the last one. Similar to MU, just uh, trying to go against higher time frame. Uh, Nothing about this says I should be in puts. It has not proven that it's pulling back um, a lot. I think honestly, I probably won't consider puts on this until we get below this point. But if it's making a new low here and we make a new high, then yeah, until we make a definitive new low and really take out some of these on the weekly, I'll maintain that bullish bias. And as you can see on the weekly, came in here, wicked, did its business. On the daily, it yeah, all it did was just came down weekly, wick the daily, it's pushing out. So that's the review for the day. Overall, looking to get out of a bit of a rut on both these accounts, but hopefully market cooperates and continue from here. But once again, this was for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. I hope you're able to learn something from this, and I hope it helps your trading from learning from how I'm approaching things and mistakes I'm making. I hope it helps, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow. Bye.